Judge tosses out challenge to Florida Don't Say Gay a second time. A lawsuit filed in Orlando challenging Florida's Don't Say Gay law was dismissed last week, making it the second such lawsuit in Florida to be dismissed this month. The lawsuit claimed the law could possibly cause distress in young students by not allowing them to discuss their non-traditional families. U.S. District Judge Wendy Berger disagreed, saying, quote, "Plaintiffs have not directed this court to any fact that would lead a reasonable person to believe that the law prohibits students from discussing their families in vacations at school or even on a school assignment, or that it would prohibit a parent from attending a school function in a pride t-shirt or generally discussing their family structure in front of other people," end quote. She has given the plaintiffs until November 3rd to refile an amended lawsuit. Kel Olson, a staff attorney at Lambda Legal, spoke about the judge's decision, saying, quote, "The students and families at the heart of this case have experienced more bullying in the months since the law went into effect than ever before in their lives. But the court dismissed their experience of bullying as a fact of life. The court's decision defies decades of precedent establishing schools' constitutional obligations to protect student speech and to protect students from targeted bullying and harassment based on who they are," end quote. And I want to single out this language from the judge. She dismissed it by saying that it's a fact of life. It is not. And the fact that this is the second time that a case has been dismissed is so problematic. This law needs to go. And so I encourage other folks to come forward, to continue challenging this law. And Lambda Legal continues showing up and stepping up for our community. So a commendment to that organization.
Well, and that's something, is she a Trump, is Berger a Trump appointee?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised,
yeah,
Greg.
right.
You know, and wow, the Trevor Project does so much for our LGBTQ plus youth, and this year more than ever, we need you guys to, like, I don't know, double in size or something, because you know what bullying leads to? Suicide. Yeah. That's what bullying leads to, okay? And how can you say that it's just part of life? That is just incredibly just unfortunate that people would even say that out loud and insensitive. You have just told a mass of LGBTQ plus kids, you don't matter. You don't matter.
So adding to this, right, is last week's news, right? So they're looking for evidence that this is causing harm, right? The chilling effects we know are known, right? Many people are documenting them in terms of counselors and teachers being forced to not be able to do their job to comfort or protect students who are being bullied, number one. And number two, last week, the Secretary of Education said that teachers' licenses would be revoked if they were caught in any kind of a way entertaining sexual orientation and gender identity, either by discussing it or by, you know, sort of having any kind of conversation, right? So those cases are going to come where the harm can be told, the narrative of the harm. Somebody losing their license, losing their paycheck, losing their home, unable to pay for their mortgage or their rent, and really the harm trickling down. And in some of these cases, it's going to be to an ally, right? Not somebody who's part of the community. It's somebody who's going to be there trying to do the right thing for a student that's being bullied. And so those effects are coming, they're going to be felt, and they're going to be incredibly harming to the community all around.
So you're basically saying, Orlando, that somebody has to die before something really happens, or somebody has to really lose their job. And
who knows if somebody has to die? I mean, look at gun safety, right? Lots of people are dying. Nothing's being done.
Right, nothing's changed.
You know, one thing that was stark in this news broadcast and our discussing is Orlando earlier in the broadcast used the word fascism. And we, and he suggests, you know, there's a path that is forming here. And it brings me to a complete stop, because I think it's a very, very important word in the LGBTQ community now in terms of what we're watching. Marco Rubio runs an ad that says, if you criticize, you're banned in social media and you're called a fascist. That is an ad that the senator from Florida is running. Well, maybe there's truth as to why you should be saying that and why you say it. I'm a big student of history, and while this judge says, well, I don't see the proof yet, that doesn't mean that the proof isn't coming. Yeah. It's just, okay, you don't have the red herring, but do we have to get to that point before we're going to take some preventative action to stop it? In 1936, when Adolf Hitler and the National Socialist Party came to power in Germany, they began implementing rules and procedures to minimize Jewish business ownership, Jewish speech, Jewish thinking process, and a wide variety of other rules that were imposed on German society. 1936 is not 1939. We are in 2022. And then 2024 is coming, which you also allude to. So does 2022 mean we have to wait to 2025, like 1936 had to wait until 1939? Because if we wait that long, the fascism jumps onto us to the point where people are starting to be put on trains. That started in 1936. Now, I'm not suggesting that's where we're going, but the students of history should be saying, we see the path of what is forming here, and we have to voice very strongly, ringing that bell. And saying fascism is not an inappropriate part of our vernacular and conversation, because we experienced it, and 22 million people died in a world war because of it. And the whole world's going, what's going on in Florida? We have to pay attention to this. It's very important to pay attention to. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.